Hi, this is a quick demonstration of how to answer the question in exam 1. So here we have the question. Okay, so it's very important to read the question first. We need to add a text box, a label, and 3 buttons. The 3 buttons, should be named accordingly, and so should the text box and the label. So I'm switching back to the Access window and just create a blank database. Okay, and I'm going to change the name of the database to exam1. Excuse me. And it's running a little slow because this is running inside a virtual machine, so it takes a little longer than a normal machine to do the same thing. Alright, finally. Alright, so first thing first, we have to create a blank form. So you click create and then go to form or form design, either one would do it. I just go to create and then go straight to form design. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. And then once we get there, we have to create all the elements, all the control elements in the form, um, in the order of the description in the text. We first create a text box, and as we talked about in the question description itself, we go to all. We change the name of the text box to initial value text box. There we go. And Dave also pointed out that if we want to, make a default or initial value, we can use the default property of the text box. But at this point, it's not really even that important, and I can also get rid of the label corresponding to the text box and just have the text box all by itself, and then just kind of move it over here. The next thing we want to create is a label. So we just go ahead and create a label. And I'm going to draw the label right under that, like so. And the label needs to have an initial value of 0. So I just put 0 here and then press enter. But then we have to go back here and change the name because it's supposed to be called reset label. Nope, no, sorry. It's called result label. And the initial caption is 0. And don't worry about this warning label here because it's just saying that it is not associated with a control, but none of these control elements are associated with any it's not associated with any control, so that's fine. So we'll leave this one alone. Then we create the 3 buttons. The first one is to initialize. Let me just switch back to the browser. Oops, one click too many. The button is supposed to be called initialize button. The caption is just initialize. So we go back there, and when we have to command button wizard, we have to click cancel so it doesn't associate the button with any default behavior. And then we'll just name this one as initialize button, and then the caption is just initialize, like that. And then we have 2 more buttons to create. The next one is, well, we can implement the add one first. So we just move the button here, change the name to add one button, and then the caption we just change it to add one, like so. And we just have 1 more to go. And this is the last button. We'll call this one times 2. So this is times 2 button, and the caption is just times 2. All right. So now we have all the control elements already created. And as a good habit, it's always good to save the file, as soon as you have it up to a certain point and we are ready to save it. There's no need to really, save it as a particular name. I did not specify a form name, but you can just, make it calculator or something that is related to what it does. This is a very simple calculator, of course. Now we can specify the event handlers. There are several ways to do it, but the quickest way is just to click the button, right click, and then click build event, and then double click code builder. This is the initialize event handler. This one just needs to copy whatever is in the text box to the label, to the caption of the label. So we have to say, result label dot caption equals initial value text box dot. Now there are several options here. You should use dot value, because dot value is accessible when the control is not in focus. If you specify dot text, it is accessible only when the control is focused. So if you want to use dot text, you have to first make sure that initial value text box has focus first. But this way is actually easier, so I'm just going to stick with the easy way to do it. And as with any type of coding project, you want to write a little bit of code and test it and then write some more. So I'm just going to run the form right now and give it an initial value. Let's say 23. Click initialize. The label does get updated automatically. So this part is working, and now I can go back to the design view and work on it some more. It is usually a good idea to work on a coding project like this instead of writing everything and then test it in one single shot. So now this is the add one button. It is going to be result label dot caption, because we do want to update the caption of result label. But the way you update it is just result label dot caption plus 1, because all we're doing is adding 1 to it. So this is the easiest way to add 1 to it. There's no need to use a counter as a variable. So this question is actually easier than the homework assignment in some sense. So we go back to form view, and then we click add 1, and you can see the label is updating correctly. We can click initialize and then click add 1, and that's also working good. Switch back to the design view, and this time we handle the last button. Go to build event, double click code builder, and this one is almost the same as the previous one, so I'm just going to be lazy and copy and paste some of that. Okay, so copy and paste, except this one is supposed to multiply the value in result label by 2. So we just say result label dot caption plus 2. So let me make sure that everything is easy to see. So that's the final solution. Switch back to the form and run it again and make sure that everything is still working. So we can put a 0 here and click initialize. Add 1 is working, times 2, and then add 1, and then times 2. So everything is working now. Then we can save the file again and then turn it in. Go back to the browser and then go down to here, click the assignment interface. I may not be able to do it because I did not log in as a student, so the Dropbox may not let me actually upload a file. Plus it is already past the due date, so I can't really do it. But that's basically the last step of the process. Well, thanks for watching, and there'll be more video clips of other stuff coming along later.